Alrighty, welcome to episode 1, Why Your Trade Business Will Fail in the Next 3 Years and What to Do About it. So in episode 1, we are going to be talking about websites that suck. So who's this for? This is a series for every tradie or business owner who needs to get new clients and sell more services but can't do either well. Or you're doing it so-so and you'd like to do it better, much better. So this is me, I'm Mark Kirk, and this is the dude talking to you right now. I run a digital business that helps with the generation of predictable growth for trade-based businesses most likely just like yours. But really important to know, I'm not here to pitch you. This is no sales or anything like that. This is just good free content to help you grow your business. So here's the biggest problem that you face right now, and it's believing that 20th century marketing methods still work in the 21st century. What do I mean by this? Well, easiest way for me to be able to cover off on this for you is to describe a well-known iconic brand that I'm sure you're familiar with, and that is Dick Smith. So Dick Smith's failed. One of the main reasons they failed was because they thought that paper advertising and TV, which worked in the 80s, would still work in the digital ages. And the reality is, people, it doesn't. And by the time Dick Smith figured out that they were behind with their marketing and transitioning to 21st century marketing, the ship had already begun to sink. Jesus, what's wrong with my language? The ship had already begun to sink. Now, this is really important. I want you to remember this. You can't be a success if you don't capture new clients and re-engage past clients through the mediums that they now use. This is super important. So in this episode number 1, we're going to talk about websites that suck and what you need to do to fix yours. So let's get into it. Now, quickly, one thing to remember is there's more than just one solution to catapult your business forward, but it begins with the website, because you never get a second chance to make that first impression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of examples here for you, and I'm going to show you what works and what doesn't work, and we're going to look at 6 things that you should be implementing on your website. And this is going to be just part 1. There's 12 things in total to do with this little section, but we're going to cover it off in another video. So first off, this is a website that does this really well. So first off, we're going to look at the headline. Now I'm going to bring up a little laser pointer, make things a little bit cooler for us. Alrighty, so number 1, headline. Super important, guys. Within 3 seconds, a website needs to tell visitors what the site has to offer. But remember, keep your headline clear and simple, no fluff. So for example, with these guys, Jim's Glass, for 24-hour glass replacement, call 131546. So that's pretty straightforward. Now I've got to say, I've got no affiliation to these guys whatsoever. I don't even know them, but they do this really well. It's a great example. Number 2, you need to have a sub-headline. Your sub-headline should offer a brief description of what you offer. Always a good thing to zero in on a common pain point for your target audience, but avoid jargon and just don't talk about yourself. So in this example, what are our subheads? This is a subhead right here, 0% interest ever for finance. Another one here, will pay your insurance excess. Next one here, save 10% off by booking online. So pretty cool little subheads. So not only can they come and fix my broken window that the little pain in the ass down the street has thrown a ball through, but I know that I'm going to get all these other benefits. So super important, talking directly to me, not saying, hey, this is why the Ducks Nuts were the greatest. They're talking all about me and they're solving my problems. Next thing is to have primary calls to action. So the goal of your homepage is to compel visitors to dig deeper into your website and move them further down your sales funnel. And this, a great way to do this is basically to include 2 to 3 calls to actions. So what we call these is CTAs, call to actions, above the fold, that direct people to different stages of the buying cycle. So above the fold, for you guys who don't know what that is, that means this through here. So what we can actually see on the screen. So as soon as you actually need to scroll, that's going below the fold. So this here is super important real estate. This is gold. This is your beachfront property. So you need to use it wisely. And what you'll see is that our subheads here are actually calls to action as well. So this particular one's great because what it does, pardon me, it says save 10% by booking online. It's got an arrow and it pushes you right here to request a quote online and save. So this is where these guys are super switched on and they're very, very smart, because what this is doing several things. Basically, it's getting somebody to take action, but it's also pointing out that if they actually utilize their on-site form, they're going to save to 10%. What this does is this also means that it doesn't tie up the phone line, so people calling in to actually use this. So they're actually processing them through here, and then they can get back in touch with them at a different point in time. So very, very smart, great call to action. So call to action here, call to action here. And even here they're saying, look, if you're not in Jim's class, if you don't want this site, which is Adelaide based, and you're looking for another state, you can even do that there. So it's really calling out and making sure that people are getting exactly the information of what they need. Right, next thing, let's talk about supporting images. Now, most people are visual, so you want to make sure to use an image or even a short video that clearly indicates what you offer. Once again, great little image, Adelaide backdrop. So if you're in Sydney, you'd have Sydney backdrop, Brisbane, Melbourne, etc. You guys get it. It doesn't matter what state, you get the understanding here. There's no mix up with what these guys actually offer. Plain and simple, they offer glass, brand name, nice and proud. So some people, they do videos. One thing which annoys the absolute shit out of me, and you're going to hear swearing through all my videos, guys, so if you don't like swearing, best to tune out. But one of the things that really pisses me off is when people just have a big slider here and they have shit that just does not make any difference. It has no relevance to what the product actually is. Or it may talk about the fact that their business has been around since 1964. The reality is, who gives a shit that your business has been around for 1964? I want to know what's in it for me. You need to basically put an offer and benefit to the client, such as this, guys. So a really good example once again. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to number 5 out of 6, and that is benefits. It's not only important to describe what you do, but also why it matters. So prospects who want to know about your product, they learn more about you. Alright, so best way to look at this is, one, to keep the copy lightweight. So copy essentially is this stuff here. It's your written word. So keep that nice and lightweight, nice and easy to read, and speak a language to your customer. So the benefit, 0% interest ever. Great benefit. So if I don't have any money and I need to use these guys' finance to replace my glass window, I know that I'm not going to be paying for the glass and then paying, twice the amount in interest. So really, really good for low income earners. Hits the market really well for this product. Once again, it's actually cleverly done. It's actually in a sub headline with a call to action right here. So click here as your call to action. Up here, another benefit, will pay your insurance excess. So that's fantastic. I don't even know how they make that work. Call to action, click here. And you guys basically get the gist of that. And last here, request quote online and save. So these guys have been very, very clever to roll a whole heap of stuff into this. Last of all, what I'm going to talk about is social proof. So what is social proof? Social proof is essentially third-party testimonials. So people have used the product and they're very, very happy with the product, and they're saying, hey, look, you know what? This product's great. I'm not the guy who actually owns the business or anything like that. I've used the product and I really like what they do. That's a third-party testimonial. Social proof is another thing up here, so you can basically head to their Facebook page, check them out, see what people are talking and saying about them, which is really, really cool. What these guys don't have here is they don't actually have that testimonial, so they could improve on that side of things, but I don't really know where they'd basically put it. They've done a fantastic job, and the reality is I'm sure they've got it somewhere else on their site, so not a huge issue because they've got 5 out of 6. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to put this into stark contrast of a site that doesn't have any of this stuff. So this is what not to do. And sorry for picking on you guys, Adelaide Independent Glass. I got nothing against you. It's just that your website is losing you money hand over fist. So this is some things that you could definitely do. So headline, Adelaide Independent Glass, not a headline. Customer login, not a headline. All right, so at least they've got the call us up here. Here, so I guess this is their headline. We specialize in a broad range of high quality customized glass products and glazing services for both commercial and residential clients. Alright, so one of the issues here is that they're not really talking to anybody. They're not talking to the residential, they're not really talking specifically to the commercial. So they're trying to cover the whole marketplace, and generally sites which try to do that, they fail dismally. A better way to do it is to be able to have a landing page for residential and a landing page for commercial, and then just basically have a nice benefit laden page which covers all this. Now Jim's Glass, they do commercial, they do residential, they do it all. But when you compare that to this, well, you tell me. One looks fantastic, one looks shit. And unfortunately, it's these guys here. Subheadline. No real subheadline. Primary calls to action. Call us. There's nothing. Why should I call these guys? There's nothing in it for me. Remember, what's in it for me? What are my benefits? Nothing. So really sorry for slagging you guys, but this site is costing you money big time. Supporting images. This is a terrible image. I mean, what the hell? Okay, it's a building, it's got glass on it, but man, nothing is appealing to that at all. About us. Great that they've got about us here and they've got where they're located, but the reality is people don't actually care about this stuff. Like, you can have that in this section here. What you want to have is your benefits. You want to have your social proof. You want to have the reasons why I should use your service, as opposed to these guys. I think you guys get the picture. Alrighty, I'm going to cut this video short. This is episode 1. What I've done is I've written up some show notes for you guys to get a checklist of what we've actually covered off here. You can go to markkirk.com.au/EP1. So once again, markkirk.com.au/EP1. Hope you've got a lot of value out of this, guys. We'll see you for episode 2, and yeah, let's provide you more value and more insight in how to get your business pumping. Talk to you soon. Thanks very much.